Hey everybody, it's Angela, and I'm going to do another scrapbook layout using this do-it-yourself paper pad, which I believe is from American Crafts, but I got it at Tuesday Morning. And the pictures I'm going to scrapbook are these. They're from the Benton County Fair that I went to recently to see this band. And the band is called Home Free. They're a country a cappella band. And I have loved them since I saw them on YouTube when they were doing this sing-off, and I've followed them. They're actually one of the few bands I've actually purchased a CD for in the last decade, and I hadn't gone to an actual concert in more than a decade as well. So when these guys came to town, I just had to go and see them. And so anyhow, the center picture is one that I took, and the two on each side are ones from the Home Free's Twitter feed. They're actually from the event that I was at, but they were better close-up photos than what I could take. So I've just gone ahead and cropped those down so that they're all the same height, and then I taped them together, and I'm just going to do a central band of photos kind of across the middle of this layout. And it's a sketch that I've kind of used before that works really well for me for doing 3 photos. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue those down, and I position them so that on the left hand photo they're kind of facing into the center, and then on the right hand photo they're facing the other way, also facing into the center of my layout. So I try to keep that in mind when I'm scrapbooking. I don't always do it, but in this particular instance it worked really good. And since they are a country band of guys here, I thought I'd go ahead and use this wood grain paper because it just kind of gave that country vibe, and it's a nice warm tones. And then I used that kind of, it looks sort of black on here, but it has kind of a little bit of navy to it. It's like a really dark navy, and it has kind of a fabric-y look, so kind of that denim look. And then this paper pad also has this with the music notes on there, the music lines, so I thought I'd go ahead and use this. And I wanted to make sure that both the treble clef and the bass clef showed on this, since you know, they have a great bass singer in this band, and it was, I mean, it was awesome when he hit those bass notes. The ground vibrated, and we were all sitting like on blankets and chairs and stuff on the grass, and so it was really great to actually hear them live. So I'm just going to put the treble clef at the top and the bass at the bottom. And I'm really liking how it's going, and I go ahead and I pull out some of these Maggie Holmes because I know they have these little records. I think this is Maggie Holmes and a mixture of the Chamel as well, because they both have like little record players and records and cassette tapes and radios and stuff. And so I go down this path for a little while. Here I'm looking through some basic gray, and I take that memories tab out of there, and I went ahead and left this section in to show you kind of how I worked my way through this, but I get about halfway through and I change my mind. So you'll see that here in a little bit. But this sketch, when I do the 3 across, I usually put something kind of down there in the bottom right and then at the upper left, and kind of give that diagonal band of embellishments. So that's what I'm thinking of when I'm doing this. And I also want some texture, so I'm thinking about music notes, and I pull some of these out. And I had some left over that were like already painted from a previous time, and I noticed some of those are really small, and I spray painted them, those notes, and they kind of flipped over, and I didn't notice it when I was painting. So some of them, actually the back side of the notes are painted. But anyhow, I was thinking about using some of those. And then I also have some stars that I spray painted gold, and so I pulled those out. I thought that would give a little bit of height and a different kind of texture on there. And for my title, I want to use some gold letter stickers. So I'm just looking through, and I like this one. It's a newer one I got at Tuesday Morning, and I wish I would have gotten 2 packs of it because it's got a finer glitter than that chunky glitter thickers they've had in the past. So I really like the finer glitter style on that. So if I see another packet Tuesday Morning, I'm going to pick it up. So I'm just going to spell out Home Free. at the top. And I liked the way that it contrasted against that brown paper, so I put it up on top of that light colored piece. I just spell that out. So I'm liking that. I'm liking the touches of gold on there. So I'm thinking of that one because it says feel the music, which you definitely could when they hit those bass notes, man. The ground just vibrated. And so I go ahead and put that down since that's my biggest element. I went ahead and put that at the bottom. And then I'm thinking of using this cassette tape here at the top, kind of a retro music feel. And then I'm not sure about some of these other pieces. I kind of moved them around here for a little bit. And then I get to about here and I'm just not sure what to do, and the layout's looking really clean to me, a little sparse, and it just wasn't working for me. So I eventually just stopped, went on, did something else, and came back to it another day and tried to figure out what it was that was really bothering me about this layout. And part of the thing that was bothering me was that it was too clean, and I wanted it to be a little bit grungier. And the second thing that was kind of bothering me were the record player and cassette tape. They just looked a little cartoony to me, or a little too whimsical. And this is an adult, masculine band. I didn't want it to get too whimsical. So as you see, I just pulled those elements off. If you don't like it, just pull it off and do something else, because you want a layout that you're happy with, and you kind of just got to keep playing with it until you get something you like. So in order to make it grungier, I go and I pull some mists from my stash, and I try this Tattered Angels, and I'm thinking of doing some drips down there. So I'm just kind of painting some underneath that mat to kind of drip out below, and I'm using a gold color. And even though it's gold and it does dry a little more gold, it had a little bit too much of a brown tone to it, so it didn't show up a lot on my background paper. And I didn't want it to look too, like Halloween blood drips or, something like that. So I just left it really subtle there in the background. I just kind of dabbed up a little bit, and I go for the splatters instead. And this is with the Heidi Swapp Color Shine Gold. And then I like that a lot better. So I just go ahead and make some gold splatters all over. And it just takes away some of that extra clean lined look that the thing had, just to grunge it up a tiny bit. And I got a couple sprinkles on my photo, but not on anything that mattered. So I kind of set that aside to dry. I dried a little bit there with my heat gun, and then I just kind of leave it alone. And I go to my die cut machine, and I take some of the same papers I matted my photos with, and I do some cuts. One of it are these Sizzix dies, and I was going to use that music note, but it just didn't look right underneath that mat. So I'm going to my die cut machine and just die cutting a kind of blank piece to go on top of that blue mat. And then that's what I'm going to use to do my journaling on. And I like the shape of that because and the shape of these swirls, because they kind of remind me of like a country shirt, where the yoke on a country shirt kind of has that embroidered detail and stuff. So that's why I really like that die. That's a Doris die that I just recently got at Tuesday Morning. So this is the first time I've used it. And I'm just putting a little glue on here. And I'm going to let it kind of overlap that mat and the photo and my journaling spot. So it just kind of ties everything together. And again, the swirliness of that die cut breaks up all those straight lines as well. Kind of takes away from that, extra clean look, and just kind of pulls it together a little more. So I'm liking this a lot better. And that die cut really well. I was really impressed with how intricate it was and how easy to remove from the die it was. It released really well. So I just go ahead and put that down. And again, like I said, it kind of just reminds me of a Western shirt. So, you know, it has a little bit more of a masculine feel to it. I still kept the little lovely with the hearts just because, you know, I was totally fangirling over going to see this band. So, and I had to go by myself because my husband was out of town, and it took me an hour to like drive there, but dang it, I was going to see this band. So I go ahead and put my thickers back down, and I wanted them to just kind of overlap that circle element and the swirls. And so I just kind of repositioned them so that everything kind of belonged together. And then I love that memories tab still. And so I go ahead and put it there just so it just kind of says lovely memories. And then I was looking for another element to put on here. So I pull my clips. I have a bowl of clips on my desk of just different kinds of paper clips and things. And I'm just looking through for kind of a metal element, you know, another kind of masculine feeling element. So I'm looking through all my metal clips, and I find these that would work, but I don't know, I have a hard time using clips a lot of times. So I pull this other dish that's on my desk, and I look through all these little metal elements that are in this one compartment. And I found these brads, and they're like double-pronged brads, and they're silver, which I wish they would have been gold, but they were silver, but they had a really nice swirly detail on them, not quite a fleur-de-lis, but or a leaf, but you know, they just had a swirly kind of Western feel to them, and you know, they're metal. So what I did with these double-pronged brads, where they don't come together and meet in the middle, I use a mouse pad, and then I kind of push them through if they'll go through, and then this one, it went through this paper really easily. So I just kind of pushed them through into the mouse pad, and then pushed the legs over on the back. If they don't push through, if you have too many layers of paper, a real heavy layer, you can just kind of make a mark, press them down so they make a mark, and then use your X-Acto knife. And I looked through, and I found there was one more. I didn't want to leave any in there, because otherwise, if there's just a one-off brad, then I probably would never use it for anything. So I wanted to make sure I got them all used up on this. So that was good to get something off my desk. And I just kind of use those kind of in lieu of using like an enamel dot or something. So now I'm just grabbing some washi tape or paper tape from the dollar store there, and just kind of covering over these brad legs so that it's easy to insert this into the page protector without catching on anything. So I really like that. And then I thought, well, maybe I'll use some washi tape on the front. So I'm searching through another dish on my desk of different tapes, trying to find something that'll work. And I didn't want to get too themey on this, but I thought just a couple details of the music note to go along with the that paper would be good. So I just put a couple there, and I kind of wish I wouldn't have put that one on the journaling spot because I kind of run out of space. So my journaling isn't as planned out spatially as I would have liked it, but it still looks okay. So I just get a nice black pen, and then I go ahead and put some pencil lines, because I know if I don't, it's probably gonna be all sideways and weird. So I thought, okay, this will make it so it's nice, but then I kind of run out of space. So anyhow, the journaling reads, I can't remember the last time I went to a concert. It has to be over 10 years ago. Home Free is one of the only of a couple CDs I purchased during that time, so when they came to town, I had to go. And I probably could have worded that better since I just kind of, you know, pulled it out of my head, but that's okay. And so that is pretty much going to be my completed layout. So I really like how it came together. It's much more masculine, a little more grown up. You can see the metal details there, and the flourishes and a little bit of the themey music theme, but not, you know, a cartoon whimsical theme. So I really love how it turned out. Anyhow, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions or anything, please just leave me a comment below and I will talk to you next time. Bye.